If you are building a car for the track, you should probably start with handling, suspension, and brakes. And once that was done, then give it a custom livery to look and feel like a real race car. But we are going the unconventional route to give this WRX a custom livery, and I think I've landed on the perfect design.
Right on the 25.
So, dude, I don't know what I did wrong. First thing is first, we need to get this hood wrap off because we are replacing this black with a different color. There's also something on the trunk, like a little plastic piece. I want to rip that off as well too. Oh my God, what is that? So I can just wrap that whole inside of the trunk area. No badging, so don't need to remove any of the badging on the back. It is already debadged. And then we need to take this car outside and give it a full decontamination. Dude, where's my extension at? That might be broken. What am I missing? Perfect. Oh shit! So I did not wrap this hood. This is not my handiwork right here. However, this is gonna be real fun to get off. It's gonna take a lot of heat and a lot of patience that I don't have. Actually, it's coming off pretty easy. So maybe just a lot of patience, maybe not a lot of heat. I don't know. Almost there. Cook it. Cook it. Too much, too much. Oh, it's gonna be crusty. Oh my God, what is that? That smells so rancid. This might be dirt from like 2013 or something. With the hood wrap removed, we have one more step before we can actually put the wrap on the car. So first we have to prep the surface, and we're gonna decontaminate it with Adam's strip wash. Basically, the strip wash is a cleaner that is going to strip any waxes or sealants off the surface of the car because we need to have a clean slate, because a clean slate means that the adhesive will adhere better to the car and less likely to fail over time. So this should do the trick. We're gonna start wrapping the roof first because it's gonna be the easiest piece to lay down. There is a design to this, which we'll get to in a minute, but in order to lay the roof one down, I do need to remove this little fin thing, and there's probably 3 clips in the back, and I should be able to reach my hand up in there and just pop that off, and hoping it's that easy, and then we can lay down the roof. Yeah, not bad. But now I got the wires. Does that just pop out or what? And that is all she wrote. As you can see, we're going with a metallic gloss blue for one of the colors. Now, I do have a second color. It's a part of the design. We'll get to that later. I did have trouble getting this out by myself, so I did need some help from my cameraman to help me, pull the adhesive off, get it laid out. We glassed it out. I'm gonna get all the air out of this. Then I have a tool that's gonna help me get all the edges all the way around the roof, and then we can move on to the hood. Originally, the design had a solid stripe from the top of the roof all the way down the front of the hood, like a foot wide. However, I ended up changing that and I did a full top on the hood. So I think I'm also gonna do a full hood wrap. However, there is a nice crease on the side of the hood, and I actually think it would look cool if I did some knifeless tape and I just kind of cut the edges so like it came from the hood and it came down and tapered in a little bit. I did a poll, it was 50-50, kind of hard to judge on social media what people think, but I think the crease is gonna look pretty cool, so let's do it. To get that crease cut, I'm basically gonna use what's called knifeless tape, and I can lay it down on the crease and I'll be able to peel this back. So once the vinyl is laid, it's actually like a really strong string and it'll just cut the vinyl through and through. And mine's probably gonna be jaggedy as shit because I'm not really good at this, but no one's gonna really notice except me. Well, maybe some people will notice, but I don't really care. So this will cut the vinyl and give me that look I'm looking for. So we've been lifting, stretching for quite a while now. I was having trouble with the other side. I was getting some weird crow's feet, so I couldn't get the center correct, especially when you have the indentations on the hood. This has been a real pain in the ass, and I'm not a fan of wrapping. So next time, I'm probably not gonna do it myself. But we're on the final stretch, so we're almost there. So I used to have a glove, but I lost it. So I'm here with a rag, trying not to crease this, and it's not working out very well. Just force it, I guess. The moment of truth. Honestly, that's pretty sweet. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I've never done a mirror before, and I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to do it, but we're gonna try, so. Well, that was actually easier than the hood, so, I mean, there's, crinkles in it, but it's whatever. It'll work. With the roof, the hood, and the rear inlay on the bumper set, it was time to remove the light and the door handles to start doing the hardest part of the car. I decided to start with the biggest piece, which was the rear bumper. I did this by myself, and I also did it in a really cold night, and I thought I was going to be able to do this just fine, but as it turns out, wrapping is not as easy as it looks on YouTube. As you can see, the bumper is not wrapped. Well, I struggled quite a bit trying to wrap this rear bumper, especially with this like concave part on the top where it goes inwards towards the car. I thought it was gonna be way easier. It was cold that night. It was like 40, 45 degrees, which isn't ideal wrapping conditions because you want the wrap to stretch, and when it's cold, it doesn't like to stretch, even when you heat it up. And I just struggled, and I messed it up not only once, but twice. So I have a bunch of wasted vinyl wrap. I had to buy more vinyl wrap, and at this point, I decided to call in the expert for help.
E-brake doesn't work.
You could have told me that before. Big pieces that I completely destroyed. They're not useful anymore. And so, dude, I don't know what I did wrong. I basically put it in the middle. I came down this way. I stretched it across here. I tried to go that way. I tried to go that way, and then I tried to go this way. And I just kept.
What was happening? Like
crow's feet everywhere. Like crow's feet like this way, or crow's feet this way, or this way crumpled in like this. And I kept trying to stretch, pull. It was 45 degrees out that night. But still, I mean, I would just heat the shit out of it, and then eventually.
Maybe you needed more stretch. But also it was cold. So.
I mean, I don't know. At that point, I gave up. And then the first piece, I did a relief cut right here. Well, I cut it too close to this, and I tried to reposition it like 6 times, and then it stretched down the middle, and it cut it, like creased it, and that was gone. So I had to throw that piece out. And then I was like, I'm gonna call that. So back bumper, the quarter, and then half the door. I figured these 2 pieces will be super easy, and we don't have to do those. It's just the big pieces and the rocker.
Okay.
And obviously we're not doing this because that's too hard. Because I wasted 2 big sheets of vinyl, I didn't have enough to finish the rear of the car, so I had to go back to Metro Restyling, which is here locally in Michigan, and order some more vinyl.
This thing is like 25 inches. Right on the 25.
While it was a little warmer this day, it was still cold out, so we had to bust out the IR heater, heat up the body panels, and work together to make sure we get a ton of stretch going around the edges of this bumper.
Oh, you're like glass, man. Yeah. Really gotta keep this boy up. Keep it. We'll do like 2 or 3 more passes and try and.
Okay, so I'm like pulling up and down, but pulling towards you.
Pull up and down, lay, and then come towards me more.
And I can see what you're saying.
Now, you might need to strip this back. We might need to pull more, but yeah. So this probably needed a little bit more stretch, but
okay.
I think I can make that work with the heat gun. The answer to that is we finna see. Yeah, it doesn't have as much shrink as I wanted, but I think I can shimmy it. Okay, you know what? We're gonna try one more stretch.
Even though we got pretty close on the first stretch, we did decide to pull it off, heat it up some more, and get a nice deep stretch on the vinyl.
Definitely cool that one. Just do stupid content. Oh. It's definitely a little cold.
With the rear bumper fully wrapped, Donnell ended up finishing out all the edges while I went and focused more on the doors where some of the design is going to be for this full livery wrap. This was going to be the most technically complex part of the car because it's more of where the design is for the livery, so there was going to be a lot of knifeless tape, measuring, and ensuring that everything was going to be the same on both sides.
Like we're working with a big sheet of plastic right now. By one.
With the livery wrap complete on the car, it was time to add some of the final touches. If you're not familiar with the car does have a name, and it is Berlin, which happens to be named after the TV show Money Heist, so I whipped up a custom logo graphic to fill out the hood. Onto the main graphic for the car and kind of the whole purpose of this wrap, Import Image Racing. I've been working with them for quite a while now, and for full transparency, they've been a huge help on getting all the parts for this car and making it track ready. And I mean from everything from the steering rack to the track pads and rotors, oil, and getting the engine running again with new head studs and a timing kit. This car just wouldn't be where it is without their support. Second on the list is going to be Baltz Autosports, who is a local shop to me and has basically helped with all the mechanical support from getting it track prepped, helping pull the engine, get the engine tore apart and fixed. So he is my basically go-to for any mechanical work on this car.
And lastly, Mike from MWK Design and Build to replace my Cobb shift knob. This is my Cobb shift knob, and this is the new shift knob that I had Mike custom make from hand. So I had him do a sledge shape, which is a little bit elongated, so it's definitely longer. It's gonna give me a lot more grip when I'm out there on the track, so I just get a full handle of it. The blue and white swirl just looks fantastic. I mean, it matches the exterior, it's just the wrap's so good. It is going to raise up the height of my shifter though, so I'll need to probably get a short throw shifter if I wanna lower it a little bit. The perfect final addition to the car with the new wrap, and I can't wait to test it on the track.